In this video, we're going to talk about how to load your backpack. Now, this is important because how you load it will dictate how comfortable it is on your shoulders and against your back. And then also, it helps you remain organized on the trail. So if you need something in your backpack, just one little item, you're not like ripping all your gear out trying to find that particular thing. Instead, you'll be organized, you'll know where everything is, and you'll have things accessible. So here's how I typically load my backpack. So maybe this will give you an idea for your own setup. So I of course have my backpack here, and then you always start with, well, depending on what you use, a rain cover. Then you just have to ignore this step. But if you use a pack liner, this of course will be the first thing you use to waterproof your backpack. And you just put it in like that. And then your first item would be items like your sleep system, because these items are important to put in the bottom because you're not going to need them until you're actually at camp. So you'll never need them when you're on the trail hiking. So your sleeping bag would be the first thing. It's bulky. It usually weighs a little bit, and so then that's something you can use as your base. You slide it down, and you want it to lay horizontally and kind of fill the bottom. So that's the first thing. And then usually you'll have like a sleeping pad, and you'll put that right in there. And then let's see. Then I usually go to my tent stuff, because again, you're not going to access your tent until you're actually at camp. So here's my tent, and this one, it's a larger tent, so I can't fit it horizontally, so I'll have to do it vertically. I put it in like that, squeeze it in there, and then any other your tent accessories. I have a footprint here, slider in there. Of course, you got your tent stakes, and for me, not everybody does this. You can have your tent poles with your tent and stuff, but I actually keep these on the outside. We'll talk about that more when we get there. So that's the tent stuff, and now I usually put my clothes in, and I usually can fit this all in the little crevices in the pack, and it kind of just fills it out, makes it more comfortable. You don't have kind of like bulky areas pushing out that might be uncomfortable on your back when you carry it. So there you go, squeeze them in there, and then I have my first aid kit. Put that in there, and then I usually have a coat. Put that in there, and now that's most of everything that I have for inside my main compartment. So now I squeeze it down, tie it off, and oh, I do have one more thing. I forgot about that. The Ditty bag. Now this is nice. I don't do a lot of bags, but this is nice to put all your small stuff, and like your headlamp, all your little wires for charging your phone. I have my camp pillow in there. I have a camp towel, all kinds of small stuff, and I just put everything in here. So you're not like losing little things, and it just finds its way to the bottom of your pack. So I just put that near the top because I might need access to that at some point on the trail. So of course, again, it'll be easy to get to. So I tie it off, my pack liner, and then that's my main compartment. So now I still have one big thing that I usually put in the compartment, but I keep this on the outside. This is my bear bag. It's waterproof, so I don't need to have it in the liner itself. And I just put that on the top, like so. And then I do the pull string, and there we go. So then we have the top part of your pack. Let me get this a little nicer here. Okay. So now we have the top part of our backpack. This is what we refer to the pack lid, or some people say the brain of your pack. And it has 2 pockets. And I usually like to put stuff that I might need in a real hurry. Your poop kit, of course. And then I have like bug spray. And then I have my keys. Zip that up. And I did forget one thing. You always want access to your rain gear. You never know when a storm will come upon you. So I make that real simple. Take my raincoat and just kind of stuff it here. Doesn't need to be in the pack liner because it's your raincoat. It's waterproof. Doesn't matter if it gets wet, and most likely you'll have it on you, protecting yourself. So there, and just stuff it in there. Doesn't need to be pretty, just needs to be functional. That's the main thing. So there you go. Snap that in there. You got to make a few adjustments on the lid. It's a little tight, but you'll get the idea of how this works. So that's the main area, including the lid. Now we'll do the exterior areas. We have the front pocket here, and I usually have my sip pad. You never know when you'll need this. So unclip that here and slide that down. Water filter, you're always going to be filling up your water bottles at some point, so you need easy access to that. And then you're good. Okay, snap that in there. That's those. Now you have your typical water bottles, and I put them in the side pocket like so. One on the other side. Bam. And then tent poles. Remember I talked about this before. I like to put them in the side pocket like that. They kind of just fit really nice and secure there. I'm not worried about anything being poked, damaged, or this poking up against my back. And then I can still have access to my water bottles at the same time. So one last thing, I usually have a pocket here on the shoulder straps, and I usually just put my phone in there. And now that's how I load my backpack. You have a pretty good distribution of weight, and it's very efficient. You always have access to the more important things when you're on trail. And so there you have it. Hope you enjoyed the video.